Hey, what's going on, guys? Happy Tuesday. Coming to you live a little bit earlier today. Let me just fix this guy here. Hopefully, we can get a few people to pop on because I want to talk about something that undoubtedly we all go through. Doesn't matter the field that you're in, doesn't matter if you're a business owner, doesn't matter if you work a 9 to 5, but anytime you are trying to level up in this game. Hey, what's up, bearded gray hair? Thanks for joining. So today we are talking about imposter syndrome. And I know that gets thrown around quite a bit on social media and you see it on posts. And here's the thing, guys, like it is the real fucking deal, right? I literally just got off a phone call with another guy that I deeply respect. And he was telling me, he's like, man, sometimes I just get this feeling of like, what am I fucking doing here? And so I told him, man, I get that multiple times a day. Like, especially when you're aspiring to do something. So right now I am working towards my purpose, my calling, right? I've started a coaching collective. I'm coaching men. I'm doing this stuff, right? And do you guys know how many fucking times I felt like I should not be doing that? Like how many times this thought goes through my head. So what I was telling this brother of mine, I was like, here's the deal. I will be completely working on something for my wellness clinic. I will be immersed. I'll be focused. I'll be doing something that has nothing to do with my coaching business. And all of a sudden, whoop, this thought goes in going, you should stop. What are you doing? Really? You're going to keep doing this? You're going to keep going live every day? You're going to keep, whatever it is? Like those are the thoughts that go through my fucking head multiple times a day. So I've talked a little bit about this, but I don't think I've actually gone full in depth. But I didn't accept my calling. I did not accept my purpose like 2 years ago, roughly 2 years ago. I felt this calling to go and coach men and start my own thing at least 2 years ago, and maybe 3. And I know there's times that I told my wife and I was like, I don't feel like I'm ready. I'm not ready. I haven't done enough. Who am I to go and do this? And like I've talked so many times on here about men lacking the confidence and the certainty to go do and bet on them fucking selves. I was right there with you. I didn't believe in myself. And it's amazing because the things that I have done in my short life, I'm like, what? Like, seriously, if I take a step back and I go, seriously, you used to run into burning fucking buildings. I used to stand on the highway and cut people out of cars while the remaining traffic was zipping by us. At one point, I worked for the worst 7 miles of highway in the nation here in Colorado. Yet I'm going, who am I to coach men about their life? And fast forward to 2017, after being at the fire department for 14 years, I left. I left it all fucking behind. I left my quote unquote 9 to 5 job. I was the one that brought in the most money. I was the one that had the health insurance. And I walked away. And everybody around me said, don't do it. You don't know what kind of mistake you're making. Literally, the fire chief of that fire department, I sat in his office and I literally was crying because this was so emotional for me. I was so fearful of what everybody around me was saying. Don't do this. You don't know what you're doing. You're making a huge mistake. All this shit, right? This guy that I had spoken to prior to me quitting saying, hey, Chief, this stuff is going on. Hey, Chief, I'm struggling here. Hey. You know what he fucking did? He tried to stop me. How did he try and stop me? He offered me one of my dream jobs. But I still walked away. Not only that, after I walked away, I started my own business as a home inspector. For 3 months. For 3 months, I built a business from scratch. No experience. I took the experience from my fire department as an investigator and as a fire prevention officer looking at plans and doing inspections, and I transferred that over to home inspections. And then I leveraged the shit out of it. And you know what happened? None of my fears came true. And my business started to grow. But you want to know what I was fearful during that time? I had to put myself out there. I used to drive around my neighborhood in where I live. I'd look up all the open houses I could find. And I started doing things differently than what all these other home inspectors would do. I drove around for a couple hours on Saturdays, and I took the realtors like a goodie bag. Put some gum, some mint, some cold water. Like, they're at these open houses all days. They don't eat. I threw in some granola bars. And I said, hey, I'm Paul. I own Mr. Home Inspections, and I do inspections differently. Here's my card. And then my business grew. I felt like the biggest fucking imposter ever. But in that short 3 months, I started getting more inspections and more inspections and more inspections. And I was doing the game of inspections so differently that people started to notice. Realtors started to notice. But I felt like an imposter. This was not my area of expertise. And then my wife said, hey, we've always talked about running a wellness clinic together. This is our door. The door opened. So in a matter of 3 months, I quit a job of 14 years, walked away from the money, the retirement, the health insurance. I started my own business, and then I shut it down 3 months later to start another business. Like, how do you not feel like an imposter when it comes to that? I wasn't looking to be a doctor or be in the wellness space. I just knew that I could bet on myself and my wife. And I would have you guys consider, like, if you're a man and you feel unfulfilled and you feel like an imposter, that tells me one thing. You're just like me. And you lack the confidence and the belief in yourself. And that needs to be remedied. You lack the confidence and the certainty and the belief and the clarity to be the man that you are meant to be. And it doesn't matter what area of work that you're in. It applies to all men. So I know when you lack those things, you do not have the confidence that you need to have. Now that's different than being apprehensive and having some anxiety in things. but mainly it's confidence. So how many of you are unfulfilled in your 9 to 5 job? Yet, how about how many men own their own business and they feel unfulfilled in what they're doing? It took me 7 years to figure this out, guys. 7 fucking years of feeling like an imposter. Lacking the belief in myself to see this through. That's no place to live if you feel unfulfilled in yourself. Guess where it's going to show up, guys? Everywhere else. Your marriage, your body, your relationship with your kids, your business, your connection with God. You're going to feel unfulfilled, and you're going to feel like you're an outcast, like you're an imposter, like you don't belong. And I would have you consider it's the exact opposite. Because the truth is, you do belong. The truth is, you are not an imposter. Even if you're starting something new. Because if you had the confidence and the certainty and the belief in yourself, you would know you would see it through. And there was some part of me when I started this home inspection company, it had nothing to do with my wife. It was me. It was all me. The logo, the website, the work, everything was all me. I had to believe in myself, to give myself the confidence that I lacked. In a certain way, yeah, I was the new fucking kid on the block. I was the new guy. I was the fucking new guy again. So you're going to feel like an imposter. But I went in and I changed the fucking game in 3 months. Perfect example. I went and met with about 20 different realtors that were associated with my life somehow. My wife knew one, or maybe they were a patient of my wife's or a friend of my parents. I went and met with them and I said, what is the number one problem that you have as a realtor with home inspectors? And you know what? All of them, 100%, you know what they said? Why does it take a week to get an inspection report? I'm trying to close this fucking house. So you know what I did? I offered reports to them in 24 hours. That's not undercutting the game. That's creating a new fucking game. And it forced me to not be an imposter. It forced me to do things differently. It made me better. It gave me belief in myself and confidence. So I'd have you consider, like, why is it that you feel unfulfilled? In what area of your life do you feel like you're an imposter? And is it actually factual to you? Because chances are it's not. And if you only had the belief and the confidence in yourself, I would tell you that this never goes away. If I said that, I would be lying to you. Because even as I sit here today on this new journey, helping men figure this shit out for themselves, helping men have confidence and certainty and belief, it still creeps up. It comes in my head and I quickly cast it aside. I don't give it any merit. I don't give it merit in my life to hold me back. Because that would just be one more thing distracting us from what we are called to do. Just like when I left the fire department, and almost everybody around me, besides my wife, was saying, "What? You've prepared your whole life for this. You're going to leave? Why would you do that? You're making a mistake. Here, take this job. So, distractions, guys. You can call it whatever it is to you. But when I was talking with this brother, it's a distraction. Those thoughts, that feeling, it's a distraction. It's an internal distraction of the forces of average, pulling you back to a place of comfort. Why? Because you're doing something that's uncomfortable. You're heading in a path that is unknown. And all you must do is continue to walk that path. And you will succeed. I firmly believe that. Because the only way you don't succeed is when you choose to stop walking. And it's doing that shit day after day, like you see, that creates the results that you want. So with that, guys, thank you for joining. Thank you for watching. If you're a man that is tired of feeling unsatisfied and unfulfilled, send me a direct message. And I'll get you plugged in to other men like myself who have mastered or trying to master this in their own life. Just because I'm walking this journey with you doesn't mean I don't have anything to offer. I'm not an imposter. I'm exactly the opposite. So, again, send me a DM. I'll get you plugged in. I'll send you my application and we'll have a conversation. So, with that, guys, Paul signing off. We'll see you tomorrow.